In this episode, I'll be unboxing the recent Blu-ray release of Little Buddha from IMPRINT Films. This film was directed by Bernardo Bertolucci. He also co-wrote the script with Rudy Wurlitzer and Mark Peplow. It stars Keanu Reeves, Bridget Fonda. Some of these names are a little difficult to pronounce. I'll do my best. Alex Wiesendanger and Ruocheng Ying, as well as Chris Isaac. Welcome to Robert Bellissimo at the Movies. This is a YouTube video podcast exploring storytelling on film, as well as interviews with industry professionals who work in film, television, theater, among other areas of the arts. Once again, I'm going to be unboxing and talking a little bit about this film, Little Buddha, which was released in 1993. I have to apologize to IMPRINT Films. I really didn't care for the film. As a big Bertolucci fan, I thought it was going to be at least decent, and I really didn't like it. I'll get into why I didn't like it in a bit, but it is a beautiful, beautiful release, and the package is phenomenal. So I'm going to get into that in a bit. For those of you who have not seen this film, I'll just read the synopsis on the back of the Blu-ray here. In a big American city, a boy and his family discover a story about a prince in a land of miracles. But the miracle becomes real when Tibetan monks appear, searching for their leader's reincarnation, who they believe has been reborn in the boy. So, I think from my own point of view, my own opinion, I think what went wrong with this film is that the characters don't really come to life. And I think on the one, we have these two separate stories. So we have Keanu Reeves, who's playing Siddhartha, who, of course, was Buddha, who became Buddha. They're telling his story of how he came to be Buddha. And then we're also telling the other story of the monks who are there to find the boy in Seattle that they believe is the reincarnation of their teacher. So, I was asking myself, well, what was the point of having to tell the story of Buddha? Because the story, obviously there's a connection, because obviously what Buddha was trying to teach people is what the whole philosophy, it's not necessarily a religion. Some people call Buddhism a religion or a philosophy. Is obviously the root of it comes from Buddha. So they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't be going to Seattle without, Buddha to begin with, and how this has been taught and how they are trying to spread the message from teacher to teacher. So there's a loose connection, but I think ultimately I imagine they felt that the audience would need to, people who don't know anything about Buddhism would need to know something about Buddhism to understand why it was important for the monks to find this boy who they believe is the reincarnation of their leader. Or else you may think, well, why is this such a big deal? Because they obviously want him and hope that he'll want to, when he's older, become a spiritual leader and teacher himself. So they want to go to the family. They're trying to get him to go to Bhutan so that they can meet with experts and see if they think he is the reincarnation. And it's not only him. There's two other kids, but he's the only one who's American. So who they feel it may be one of these kids. So we have these. So it feels more educational, and as opposed to a real emotionally engaging story. And I think Bertolucci, my impression was that he got swept up in teaching the Buddhism part to the audience. And then we lost the characters, because the married couple, the parents of the child, played by Chris Isaac and Bridget Fonda, they're skeptical and wary of this whole thing. Naturally, they're not Buddhist. Naturally, more so Chris Isaac than Bridget Fonda. She's a little more intrigued. But when Chris Isaac is the one, his character Dean Conrad is the one who goes to Bhutan with him, because now he has this own crisis himself, and he thinks, well, maybe there's something to it. So maybe he needs to just get out of Seattle and go with the boy and see what comes of it and see what he'll learn from it. So it's suggested that he has perhaps some kind of spiritual awakening, not that he necessarily became a Buddhist, but that he gained something. But they do not explore it at all. And Chris Isaac's character, Dean Conrad, they don't even really give him much dialogue. I mean, he hardly says anything, particularly when they go to Bhutan. He's just there, and he doesn't even seem really interested in in anything. On top of that, Chris Isaac, it was pretty poor in this film. I didn't think he did a very good job. He just seemed apathetic. I mean, that was part of the character, but he just looked like he really didn't even want to be there. It's not a very good, it's not a really good performance. Bridget Fonda was better as the mother. I thought she was quite good, but she doesn't even go with them because she has to stay and work. I just thought, well, bring both parents there, and maybe there would have been something more emotional there. Not only that, Vittorio Storaro, who was the DOP on this, who was the DOP on many Bertolucci films, as well as many great American films like Apocalypse Now, for example. He's like the man who writes with light, they call him. I mean, he's a genius cinematographer. And he makes the Seattle story so blue. And obviously we're trying to get a contrast to the story of Siddhartha, and of course when they go to Bhutan, where everything there is in these bright colors, and it's has this majestic feel to it, and everything in Seattle is so cold. Again, you think, okay, is that meant to say because they don't have, yeah, sure, they have some troubles, but they didn't have severe, troubles. They seem to be like a happy couple for the most part. But I just thought, why make it that blue? Is it because they didn't have spirituality in their life? And so the point is that, the monks coming in to the American world, from their point of view, it would have all looked so cold because there's a lack of spirituality there, but it's not from the monk's point of view. So I thought, okay, why do that? I mean, it looked like a neo-noir. It was so dark, like out of a crime film. It would be one thing if their life was terrible, truly terrible, and I can understand why he would maybe light it that way. But it was so dark, I just didn't think it worked. And of course, at the end of the film, when Chris Isaac comes back with his son, it is brighter. Again, the point is, at least what I took from it, is that now this experience they've gained from it. But I just thought Bertolucci just was trying to put so much into this, and the screenwriters, that he forgot about the characters. And so it feels more like an educational piece as opposed to a story about people and some kind of a spiritual awakening. I mean, I didn't feel that these characters learned anything. I just feel that they're just there. So that didn't work at all. And then of course the story of Siddhartha, who became Buddha, played by Keanu Reeves. Oh my God, the brown face. They literally tanned him dark. Fortunately, we have today have more. We've gained consciousness about making these kind of casting choices. But I mean, Keanu Reeves, I just couldn't get over the fact that he was Buddha. It just didn't work. And on top of that, his acting was quite poor in it. I just thought he was hammy, and it's just nothing was going on. Not only that, the story, because it was from one of the teachers, Lama Norbu, who goes to Seattle, he gives a book to the family to read, which is the story of Buddha, obviously to educate them, and then to educate the audience on Buddhism. So we're learning about this as they are. So they're reading out of this book, just like we are. And because my impression was that it looked like a children's book. It feels that way as well. It has a it has a children book feel to it. So, which I thought that was okay. You even see later in the film how the kids are getting so absorbed in the story that it's almost as if they are now there. But it was so poorly casted. Not the other actors who were part of the that story of Buddha, but Keanu Reeves, just the brown face alone, I could not get over. And the dialogue was really poorly written. It felt like a soap opera. It's really cheesy for the most part. It just does not work. On the special features, apparently Bertolucci and the production searched for the right actor all through India and other countries, and they felt they couldn't find anyone. And then Bertolucci said he saw My Own Private Idaho with Keanu Reeves and thought, oh, he thought he'd be good for it. And when they met, he felt that he had the right innocence for the part. And he just really took to Keanu Reeves. And I thought, really? You searched India, you searched all these other countries, and you settled on a white guy? I don't get it, but it didn't work for my money. But again, it not only is the acting poor, but the casting was not right at all for obvious reasons. The little boy, though, is pretty good. I believe I'm pronouncing his name right, Alex Wiesendanger, who played Jesse Conrad. I like the kid, and the other actors, Ruocheng Ying, who played Lama Norbu, was quite good as well. But other than that, yeah, it looks great. I mean, Storaro, again, just master of light and cinematography, and it's beautiful to look at. But yeah, maybe I want to take a still from it and hang it on my wall. But do I want to see a 2 hour and 20-minute film of it? No, that's a whole other thing. So that's another problem. I think he just got swept up in the images and the special effects that happen in the Buddha story and all the technical challenges of it. It just he lost it. He lost the heart of it, the story, and it just does not come to life. But let's take a look at the Blu-ray. So this is our cover here. You can, if you want to take a better look, you can take a screenshot there. And here's our back. Also, take a screenshot. The special features are quite good. This is what I love about when boutique labels like Imprint Films, Via Vision, of course, who is Imprint Films, when they go to people who worked on the film for stories and things that you'll never hear anywhere else, like interview with the supervising sound editor Eddie Joseph, and then an interview with the dialogue coach Constantine Gregory, an interview with supervising art director Andrew Sanders. I mean, when are you going to hear from those people? They're not going to be on the red carpet. They're not going to be at the movie premieres. They're not going to be at the film festivals. They're not going to be interviewed doing press junkets. They're going to be on these Blu-rays. So they've got these really great interviews, and I particularly liked the one with Eddie Joseph, who said he couldn't even sleep. He was getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep because he found Bertolucci so difficult to work with. And they got into a massive argument at one point, and then they both started laughing at the end of it. And they became great friends after that. So his story was really good. Constantine Gregory felt that. So I don't really agree with him that Chris Isaak was good in it. He felt that Chris Isaak was really good in it, and he also felt this was just his impression that Bertolucci didn't quite take to Chris Isaak. So whether or not that's true or not, I don't know. But those interviews with the people who worked on it were really good. The featurette, Making of Little Buddha, is quite good. With the interview with the producer, which was many years later, Jeremy Thomas, was quite good as well. So the special features on this are really nice. I'll open it up here so we can have a look. Here's our cover. Take a screenshot. Sleeve there. You can also take a screenshot if you want to have a look. Here's our Blu-ray in there. And I'll pop out the disc. I love these releases because they've got these great images on the inside. There's the 3 kids who they think may be the reincarnation of their spiritual leader. But I love the images that they put on the inside. They always have these beautiful packages because we get two totally different images on the case cover and then on the sleeve cover. So again, it's a beautiful release, but the film itself is a real disappointment. But I do know just from going on Letterboxd and checking out some other reviews, some people really like it. So if you really like the film, and here's the Blu-ray with some great features, I'm sure you'll like it. And if you like Bertolucci, there's a lot of really big, massive Bertolucci fans who may just want to own every single Bertolucci film. So, hey, perfect opportunity to add this to your Bertolucci filmography and put it up on the shelf. So, again, I can't recommend the film. I don't think it's a very good film, but I think if you like the film and you're a Bertolucci fan, or you'll definitely want it on your shelf. So, Via Vision, thank you so much for sending it to me. And I hope everyone has enjoyed this review, this unboxing review. So I want to thank all of my members on Patreon. If you're interested in becoming a member of my Patreon, head over to the link patreon.com/RobertBellissimo@the-movies for full details. And lastly, if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is absolutely free to do so. By pressing the Robert Bellissimo at the Movies logo, you will see it floating above my head in the top left corner to your top left in just a second. Just click on that, and then click the bell in order to get a notification every time I release one of my new episodes, or when I go live. Click the like button below and comment as well. Let me know what you think of Little Buddha, and if you have purchased this from Imprint Films, this Blu-ray, let me know what you think of the release. Thank you so much again, everyone, and I will see you in the next episode.